Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Orthodox Banter with Bojan. I'm the Bojan in question, and if you have any questions that pertain to Eastern Orthodox theology or practice, feel free to ask and I just might answer from my own personal knowledge and experience. So I'm back to Belgrade from the wonderful island nation of Skopelos in Greece. It was great, and whoever prayed for my safe return, thank you so much. May the Lord refund you a thousandfold, and whoever prayed for my unsafe return, well, the joke's on you. So today's question is on nativity scenes from Cerberum Maximus. I do hope I pronounced that right. I don't know, it sounds like a part of a brain. The question is, this is a bit longer question, so I'll just shorten it. What do you think of nativity scenes? I recognize they are merely representations of nativity figures, and they are there to symbolize Christ and the others, not actually pray to material statues. I do, however, cross myself as I walk past the nativity scene as I walk past it, just as I do with icons. What do you think? Also, if you have multiple nativity scenes, I don't, do you think that will be better or worse? Thank you for your question. As regards to nativity scenes, this question in general is sort of depends on what are my opinions, or, well, the church's opinions of the statuary as used by Christians. And you can see my two previous videos on the statues and on making clay figurines. However, I personally believe that nativity scenes are one of the best things that Western Christianity has produced, because while statuary is sort of defective when it comes to its theology, they do fulfill a great task that icons perform, and that is to remind us of the presence of God. And always being aware of the presence of God is, as the fathers have taught, is actually the highest form of prayer, and that is what Saint Macarius the Great has taught us. At one point he said that he tried to remember God at all times for I don't know what period, and he said that it was exceptionally difficult, but yet he managed to do so despite of all the demonic attacks. So actually having nativity scenes is, I believe, a great way to actually, remind us of the presence of God during the nativity season. And I do hope, even though it's a bit, it's too ambitious, but I do hope that we will have other scenes eventually. The resurrection scene, the transfiguration scene, the nativity of the Theotokos scene. That would require some investment. And of course, I doubt that a lot of churches would be able to, afford it. But I think it would be one of the great ways to make all of these feasts come alive. Now, as for owning nativity scenes, I would assume that those little ones, like figurines, is what is meant by this. I honestly, personally, am not a huge fan of owning more of the same thing. We are especially tempted to do this in modern age. I do have two icons of St. George, for example, because one was a gift from my sister for moving into my apartment, the one I had before, so of course I took that. And I have an additional one in my workroom, but that one's sort of that different because I like to watch my patron saint while I work. So having multiple nativity scenes, it's okay if you find some use to them, but if, or maybe you're like a collectioner or something, but simply hoarding them and having them all at the same place, I do not see much use for it. Myself personally, even when I attend church, for example, if I venerate an icon of the Theotokos, I won't go venerate another icon of the Theotokos. Most of you have probably seen that huge cathedral of St. Sava, or how we call it in Serbian, Temple of St. Sava. And next to it is a very small parish church, which I like a lot. But I sometimes call it the Pokemon Church, because they have these multiple replicas of the wonder-working icons of the Theotokos, the Most Holy Theotokos of the Three Hands, the Most Holy Theotokos of Kazan, and a couple of others. And I would just venerate one of them, and it's maybe not even a replica of a wonderful working icon. I might just venerate the one on the iconostasis and feel absolutely no need to venerate each and every, icon of the Theotokos there is. Like, it's not really slot machines. Chick, okay, maybe this one will work. It is the most holy Theotokos behind each and every one of those. I might see like an argument that you might, and that comes from Milos, my co-host on Bible Illustrated, and one of my best friends. He said, "Hey Bojan, a replica of the most holy Theotokos of the three hands is coming to your parish church. Wanna go venerate it?" And I was like, "Guy, there was a replica of it in my previous parish church for like previous 20 years." And he said, like, and it is one of those really humble stuff that comes out of a pure heart. Yeah, but the monks from Mount Athos are sending it as a blessing. And I was like, okay, fine, you defeated me. In the end, I didn't go, but because I was lazy. But I see that as an argument. So it really depends. Why do you want to own all of these nativity scenes? And maybe you can mix it up with some other things if you can find those. I hope this was of some use to you. Please remember to subscribe, and if you don't know, we started producing merch. The link is in the description. Bye!